Welcome back, boys and ghouls, to the Theater of Blood Horror Show. I am Tony.
I'm Matt.
And we are here to start something we're going to try to give you every week. Little mini reviews of horror films.
Stuff we've seen recently, stuff we know well, stuff
Older
we like
stuff,
or
newer stuff.
dislike.
Just horror films in general. And we're going to start off with a double feature here. In many ways, 5 films.
Yeah. Well, one being an anthology
yes.
and one a straightforward film.
We're going to do 2 movies for you tonight. One, I'm repeating what you said, an anthology, and the other is a straightforward horror film. I've heard that somewhere before. The first movie we're going to talk about was a much touted new release. It's currently in very minuscule release. It's playing mostly on iTunes and on demand, and it's an all-woman directed horror film called XX.
Yeah. Double X.
Double X.
Maybe it should have
Not
added
sure
the
how
third
that-
X
maybe
and they could have got some more views.
Might have helped if they would have put one more X in there. Matt, I didn't like the film. Well, first of all, let's talk about the film.
Yeah.
It is an anthology film. It is 4 short, 20 or so minute horror films.
Correct. With a central kind of, if you want to call it, fifth film-esque stop motion.
Yeah, all the links them together. And
Which was actually better than any of the single segments.
yes. But all 4 segments were written and directed by women.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really it.
Yeah.
that's. I guess we'll just start with the first one.
Supposedly horror. Yeah. So.
We were told that they were horror films, and we're still kind of looking for that.
Yeah. Not one scare.
No.
So
one.
the first segment.
First segment is called The Box.
The Box.
And
What's in the box?
And it was written and directed by Jovanka Vukovic, and based on a short story by Jack Ketchum.
Okay.
And
has she done anything else? He's on IMDb.
Vukovic, come on, IMDb. This is all off the top of my head, folks.
Oh, she got some
Number
nice
one,
red
she's
hair.
a very beautiful woman. So anything we say about her. No, this is her first full-length feature.
Okay.
She's done a bunch of shorts. And this isn't even a full. This is a short.
Yeah, so,
So
on to her next
yes,
short.
on to her next short. But Jovana Vukovic, she's a Canadian filmmaker.
Okay.
And she did the first segment in XX called The Box. Wrote it as well.
Which could have been the strongest of the films had it not fallen flat
Indeed. And
in the end.
as many critiques of many films that ended up failing at the end, it could have... It had potential.
It could have been a contender.
Could have been... I almost said that. I did. It had potential.
It was a fairly inventive story.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. That's very quickly. Mother and her 2 kids are on a subway.
Yeah, coming back from the city to the suburbs, and
Kid sitting next to a guy holding a big red box with a bow on it. Asks to see inside. He looks inside.
centered around the holidays, so there's a plausible reason he would have a present in his lap.
Kid looks inside, doesn't say anything, then stops eating.
Yeah, he's obviously a little disturbed by what he saw in the box.
But that's the only time he looks disturbed, just by the by.
Yep, just for a few minutes after seeing the box, and then he calms down. But from that point on, his appetite seems to have been wiped out.
Yeah, he does not eat whatsoever. And very quickly, we don't want to give anything away for the people who haven't seen this, which is probably a lot of people.
Right.
Because it just was only released recently on demand. His sibling, his sister, he ends up telling her what we never hear.
Right.
He secretly tells her what was in the box. She stops eating.
And then
tells his father. He stops eating. And the mother's trying to figure all this out. And we really can't talk any further about what happens, plot-wise.
Right. That's true.
At the same time, for 2 reasons. Number one, we don't want to give a certain spoiler at the end. Towards the end. And number 2, there's nothing else to talk about.
I don't know if we
nothing
could
else to talk
spoil
about.
it because it just ended.
It just stops.
No reveal,
Nothing.
Nothing cathartic about it.
It builds up. It has a nice, almost at times, and I don't mean in style, I just mean in tone, Kubrickian silence to the whole thing. Every shot is static.
Yeah.
Everything's very quiet. Every movement is very calculated.
Yeah.
And then, to what end?
Nothing to tie it together, to make it cohesive,
and there's nothing,
give it a reason.
No, there's nothing creepy about it whatsoever.
No
there's
scares.
a dream sequence, and I won't talk about, but or is it?
Yeah.
There's something that happens that could possibly be a dream sequence that has nothing to do with what happens.
Right.
And it's never explained and never referred to again. Again?
Because
I'm London. I'm from London, you see.
Again.
It's never referred to again. No, again. It's never referred to. And the whole... there is no denouement. There's... The everything that came before it, which wasn't brilliant but interesting, is rendered null and void.
Yeah.
And empty. Empty.
It had potential, again, because I've never seen a story about something as terrifying as just your kids not eating, because anybody who... Yeah. And I'm not a parent, but I have...
I'm a parent.
I have many cousins, nieces, nephews, things like that. Well, no nephews, but by blood at least, but pretty true friends. And
just put air quotes around
I can only imagine how afraid I would be if any of the children of friends or family of mine stopped eating.
Yeah.
And that is something that, could fall in the realm of possibility. They could just stop eating.
And I even said to you during the movie, I said, I'm a parent, and I can tell you as a parent, by day 3, he would be force-fed because he's going to die.
Yeah, flipping out.
And the parents, no, the mother, not the father, is just taking everything kind of, he's not hungry.
And it almost felt like they were building up something that
where she was a part of it.
Yeah, where she was a part of it, because she was so blasé about her son not eating. She didn't even seem to care.
Right.
And then the scene where she's standing behind where the son tells the father, finally whispers in his ear.
Yeah, which we don't hear, yeah.
And it seems like she's hovering there menacingly.
Sure.
Like she's like, oh, well, he's about to tell the secret that he's not supposed to tell.
Yeah.
She was in on it. Mm-hmm. And then that direction just stops.
Yeah.
And it was purposeful, because the father even says something to her, and he's like, how can you eat when our children are starving?
Yeah.
And she said, well, I have to eat.
Well, I'm hungry. Yeah. I have to eat, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't refer to that again.
No.
He's just like, okay, honey, do what you got to do. Yeah. No, not a good first segment. Not a bad first segment, but completely melts away in.
It's an upside compared to some of the other stuff in this.
Yeah. Perfect example. Segment number 2. Number 2. The birth. No, I'm sorry. Yes, the birthday cake. The birthday cake,
which I felt,
which by the way, just interestingly enough, was directed by St. Vincent, who is a musician, and who has done lots of work with David Byrne. Very good musician. Very quirky, very Laurie Anderson-esque, mixed with David Byrne, if you will.
Has she ever done anything directing-wise?
She has never done anything directing-wise. This is her first. Her real name is Annie Clark.
And last.
This is her first, and hopefully...
First and last.
Oh!
Maybe stick to the music.
Yeah, St. Vincent's segment, the second segment in the film, was called The Birthday Cake. And it was atrocious.
Really.
Can I say atrocious?
Really, really bad.
Starring Melanie Linsky, whose name almost didn't come to me. Who's a nice little quirky actress. Yeah, I like her.
She's been in plenty.
Heavenly Creatures.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson's Heavenly Creatures. Most recently, a wonderful HBO show that only did 3 seasons because they said we don't need any more, and by God, that's how you do it. you get out on your high, called Togetherness.
I didn't see
and
Togetherness.
It was wonderful. Wonderful.
Well,
this there. That's my whole review of this segment. Empty silence. No, I can say with all of my heart and soul that I hated The Birthday Cake.
It was not good. I mean, it was the central story is around a rich family and the mother of what we can suppose is an adopted child, being that the mother and the father were both white and the child was African American, is adopted. But it's apparently the adopted child's birthday, and they're setting up a party, and they have their rich helper who looks like a very outdated character in an outdated dress and hairstyle of Jackie Onassis.
Yeah, a goth Jackie Onassis.
A goth Jackie Onassis. And she proceeds to find out that her husband has come home from a business trip that night.
And died.
And died in his office. And then a whole Weekend at Bernie's theme takes over.
She doesn't want to ruin her daughter's birthday party, so
she's just dragging a body around the house,
hiding it from room to room, and we won't mention the payoff, which is horrible, but some people might like it. So, and it becomes a Weekend at Bernie's thing, and it's ridiculous, and it's supposed to be goofy and quirky, and
I think it was supposed to have a sense of humor that just missed.
And it was just horrible. I mean, horrible. I give that one no stars. There was nothing redeemable about that segment.
Agreed. And,
Terrible.
Like you and I talk about, if you're going to mix horror and humor, it has to be done well.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to do.
Here's my theory. If you're going to mix horror and humor, call John Landis.
Yeah.
Because he's done it 3, 4 times now.
Scare me a little when I'm supposed to be scared. Make me laugh a little when I'm supposed to laugh. Yeah. Not asking for too much.
Take off your shoes, turn out the lights, and love me tonight.
Yeah.
It's a little country song by Don Williams. Anyway, I'm sorry, go on.
But when it comes to humor, for me, if it's going to land in a horror movie, the horror movie can't take itself too lightly or too seriously.
Yeah.
Again, we were talking about Landis and how he did it perfectly. The humor in that movie is organic. It's not slapstick. It's not...
He's talking about American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, and not insert comedy character. It's not forced. It's not like a badly written pun that's supposed to get you to laugh.
No, it's not.
More situational.
And the great thing, one of the gazillion great things about An American Werewolf in London is the comedy is hilarious. The horror is terrifying, and both of them
together.
Thank you. And together, thank you. They just smoothly flow in and out of one another all the way to the end,
and keep you damn entertained the whole way along. The
Birthday Cake is the polar opposite of everything we just said.
And
everything.
You're right. We were MST3K'ing our way.
We were riffing. We were riffing this. Yeah.
This story, and that's not a good sign. Both him and I, as you know, enjoy film, and if we're going to watch it, we want to watch it.
Yeah.
Speaking of horror and humor, recently I saw Get Out, and I'm sure this is a film unlike XX that a lot of people that may listen to this podcast have seen. It's very popular.
Yeah.
It's all over the place right now.
Huge hit. Happy for it.
And that is an example of how you handle humor in a horror movie. It didn't take itself too seriously, but it didn't add slapstick or comedy that was forced.
No.
The comedy was situational. There is a buddy character in the TSA agent guy who, though he's very funny and hard to take seriously, he doesn't seem like an unreal person. We've all met guys that are just inherently funny, and most of what comes out of their mouth is a joke, and that's what he felt like. A real person who just jokes a lot.
Right.
He didn't feel like, oh, we need comic relief, let's write this character in.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example and of another good balance of, even though that isn't like brutal comedy, but there's comedy in Get Out.
Yeah,
but
no, and handled well.
The birthday cake is supposed to be all darkly comic,
and it's
and
not
then that
comical.
Stupid ending.
Yeah, but it's not
which
comical
we won't spoil,
and not very dark.
No, it's a horrible film. It really is.
Yeah,
The birthday cake,
and it's people just doing just nonsensical things that you would never do.
And Melanie Linsky looked. Just what am I doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that she does Sophie's Choice in the Deer Hunter every time out, but she really looked. So anyway,
so how much are you guys paying me again?
Yeah. Okay, I'll drag the body around.
It's 2 blocks from my house. I guess I can go down the street and.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one, St. Vincent. Yeah, I like her albums. I'll work for her. The next one, we'll probably glide right over this one. It's so nonchalant.
Oh yeah.
Don't Fall.
Yep.
Directed and written by Roxanne Benjamin, who looks like Annie with blonde hair.
Oh.
And actually did a couple of.
Let's see. We've got.
She was in. She did a film called Southbound, which I could not stand. Okay. It was a horror film. I watched it on cable recently, about a year ago. Just terrible. But she was in VHS 2, and she was in Southbound. But
she acted in which segment in VHS 2?
I don't recall. Let me go to my memory here. Zombie. She was a zombie in a Ride in the Park. Oh, Ride in the Park. One of the better segments in VHS 2.
The jogger,
the guy with
the GoPro.
Yeah. So
that was a good one. I mean, of course, the best one in VHS 2 was the Cult.
Oh yeah, it's the best one.
Yeah, that was.
But Roxanne,
I still think that's brilliant, and I like the Alien one too.
Yeah, that was good. That was great.
Altogether, VHS 2 was strong. I liked VHS 1, VHS 2, Viral. Not so
Viral
much,
was terrible. I hated it.
But still, far superior. I'd take Viral over what we just watched.
Oh, me too.
At least it had some creep
I'd
factor
take Hostel
to
3 over what we just watched.
Oh, man.
Did you see Hostel 3?
I have not. I've seen 1 and 2. I have not
Hostel
seen
3 is awful.
Is it?
But anyway, Roxanne Benjamin did Don't Fall. It's a throwback to 80s horror. I believe it's set in the 80s.
Yeah, the clothing. Not a cell phone came out.
Not a cell phone.
So
the guy had a camera around his neck, a snap camera.
Right.
Yeah. So that if there's one great thing in it, besides I'm sure what we're going to bring up in a second, is she didn't hammer us over the head with, look, we're in the 80s, look, we're in the 80s.
Right.
She just kind of let us figure it out.
Yeah, look at the way
they're dressed. And that was nice. There was a black light poster. Yeah, it was nice.
And this segment altogether wasn't bad.
If it would have been the first segment of 4 really good segments, it would have been fine.
Right. I could agree to that.
Yeah.
But it was too simplistic.
It was 4 kids on apparently some
camper trip.
Yeah, they go on some sacred land.
They're out in the middle of the desert and have climbed to a vista and decided to camp out there on the top of the vista. And there are markings on the rocks that appear to have some sort of demon creature people.
Yeah, and they're on the Holy Land, and the demon creature wants them off. So.
Yep.
I don't understand the title. Don't Fall. It's only the very first shot where they're standing on the ledge of something.
Yeah, Don't Fall. Other than that, it doesn't relate. Don't Fall / demon on the hilltop.
But the only and honestly, what we just said, that's the movie. That's it. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no surprises. There's some decent creature effects.
I always liked a wide mouth monster. You know
wide mouth, but I'm getting sick of the jerky thing.
Yeah.
Like I've had enough of that. Thank you, Japanese horror.
Yeah. You can give that.
We're gonna suck on that forever.
Koji Suzuki and what he did with Ju-on and Ringu.
The other Kurosawa, mind you. Yeah, from Pulse. That's it.
The other Kurosawa.
Yeah. Well, I don't want people to say, "Wow, Seven Samurai had jerky ghosts in it." Yeah, no. The other Kurosawa.
No, it had ghost jerking off.
Yeah. No, and there's nothing else to say about that, about Don't Fall.
Yeah. I mean,
that's it.
Pretty much. There's a demon-type creature that will use a vessel to dispose of the others and get them off.
And there you go.
And that's
movie over.
That's the film.
And then
there's no spoil to it because there's no further plot to it.
And then the mercilessly final segment. Her Only Living Son, directed by Karen Kusama, who has actually done good work in the horror field. Unfortunately, she did Jennifer's Body, which is just terrible.
Okay.
But she also did a horror film from 2016 called The Invitation. I won't get into it, waste time. Check it out, it's a good one. And she brought Michelle Rodriguez to the world in 2000 with also Kusama's first film, Girl Fight, where she was a boxer in New York in an all-male world, and it's a very good film too. However, this is more along the lines of Jennifer's Body,
and this is the strongest of the four.
It has the strongest story, if you will.
Yeah, acting was decent.
Air quotes on story.
Acting was decent, except for Chet
the mailman.
Mr. Mailman guy.
Chet the mailman wasn't very good.
Who couldn't act his way out of a cardboard box.
Or a bad movie.
Yep.
Very quickly, it's, without wasting time on talking about the plot, it's a take on The Omen and Rosemary's Baby.
And there you go.
And it's her son's 18th birthday. Yep. And there you go.
And that story's never been told before.
No, we've never seen the spawn of something.
Your son is the devil.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
Borrows a little bit from Dexter a little bit and things like that with his sociopathic, psychopathic tendencies.
We really wanted to. Number one, folks, we're going to start bringing you reviews, hopefully weekly, at least one a week, maybe two. We wanted to start out strong, and unfortunately we can't because this was not a good film. As a matter of fact, the more we've talked about it here, I almost hate the entire thing. I didn't hate the entire thing, but there's not enough good for me to like it at all.
I'll tell you this.
So,
I don't think I'm ever going to give this a rewatch.
Oh, why would you? Why would you? It's a horrible
film. It comes on TV randomly and I tune in. I'm changing the channel. It's just
I'll tell you what.
Not good enough.
This goes to show you. Stop letting women make. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I can't wait for the.
Yeah.
But
he is kidding, fellas.
I'm kidding. Catherine Bigelow, one of my favorite directors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows how to make a horror film? Near Dark.
Yeah, Near Dark.
Yeah.
With God rest his soul.
God rest.
Bill
hard
Paxton,
to believe. Yeah. Can't believe that's a phrase we're saying.
I know. I mean, it's just
Bill Paxton.
Some of the other people that we've lost recently.
Too soon.
They were older in age. Or they had some health issues. You had a little preparation for this.
Yeah, but not Bill.
Bill came out of nowhere.
He had a bad surgery.
He was 60.
Yep.
And that was as shocking as Alan Rickman was for me.
Yeah, it was. Oh, there's many shocks over the past year.
Yeah.
But very quickly, unfortunately, our first review was negative.
Yeah.
And brutal negative. This
altogether.
This may make my top 10 worst of the year list. Somewhere on that list, it might be on there.
It should be up for more than one Razzie.
There's not. Oh, and my point, I started joking about women directors. I love the fact that this is a film produced by women, created by women, written and directed by women,
I wanted to like it for those many women, especially with everything going on with our current administration, and women not being represented right now. This is wrong.
And women have always been
intelligent. Men know that a woman is equal to us.
Whatever. But
this was not.
And this was not good. Yeah, I mean, all four of these women, keep cranking them out. Do what you need to do, but learn from this mistake because this is just a bad film.
Yeah,
it's a bad film.
I could have liked the first segment if it gave me any semblance of an ending. Second segment was unredeemable. It's just completely boring.
Yeah.
Third segment is just not enough to it. Too simple.
Right. Yeah.
It's just like, okay, so they go to a mountain where a demon might be, and the demon wants to kill him. That's it.
That's it.
And then the last segment, it just fell flat.
It's just a bad film. XX.
Bad
film. We will be back with another review this week of The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Okay, yeah, we're going to watch that next, and we'll be reviewing it very soon, guys.
We'll be reviewing it. Yeah, we'll be back with that.
See you soon.
So we'll see you soon. Stay scared.